Ravens, y'all gotta slow down just for a little bit because I ain't even finished catching up with everything that happened yesterday. But anyway, let's get to it. Derrick Henry signed a contract extension. Darius Washington suffered a major injury. And we got our first schedule leak from the Baltimore Ravens. And we know the full schedule coming out tonight, but it's nice to get the first week 1 schedule out the way. And it's a big one. Let's get straight into it. So Derrick Henry, man, he was amazing, and the Ravens just knew they spun the block for him because if y'all recall a couple years ago at the trade deadline, they were said to have had a trade agreement ready with the Tennessee Titans to bring Derrick Henry to Baltimore. But what happened? The Titans at the last second, they said, nope. Ain't doing it, not happening. So it was kind of a bittersweet thing. Bitter because we didn't get Derrick Henry then, but sweet because we got to see the emergence of Keaton Mitchell. And with him coming back to the lineup this year and being 100% healthy, to have Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, and Keaton, ooh, it's going to get real nasty for y'all. But anyway, we finally got him. We finally got him. The next offseason, they signed Derrick Henry to a 2-year, like $16 million deal. Maybe it was $18 million deal, but something that was basically pennies. All of the guaranteed money was in the first year. But this upcoming year, which would have been the second year, there wasn't no guaranteed money left. They could have cut Derrick Henry and been like, yeah, we're done. But Derrick Henry said, no. You know what? I'm going to give you every single reason in the world not to only not cut me, but to give me a contract extension. Because Derrick Henry, last year, started all 17 games and rushed 325 times for 1,921 yards and 18 total touchdowns. Now, while those numbers are amazing, we didn't even get to see the full Derrick Henry experience. And I know for some of y'all, you might hear me say that and say, what? With numbers like that, that wasn't the full Derrick Henry experience? No, it wasn't. Because it took the Ravens a little bit. It took them a couple, especially early on. There were some games later on, too, where it was like, hey, why is Derrick Henry not being featured even more? Derrick Henry is going crazy. Why are you taking him off the field? So Ravens did a lot of questionable stuff with Derrick Henry last year in his first year, but he still went crazy like that. So that lets you know just how good, my apologies. That lets you know just how great Derrick Henry is. He is like that. So Eric DeCosta, he finally did it. And I love this because Eric DeCosta is putting his money where his mouth is. And his mouth, earlier this offseason, he said, hey, we want to sign Derrick Henry to a contract extension. We expect to sign Derrick Henry to a contract extension. Derrick Henry let it be known. Y'all remember when Derrick Henry was posting like, all right, let's get it. Let's run it back. Let's make it happen. He said, I love Baltimore. I love being here. I want to finish my career here. He said all that stuff. So he was putting that pressure on Eric DeCosta. Eric DeCosta puts that pressure on himself. And Eric DeCosta said, pressure? That ain't no pressure. Watch this. We got it. The details of the deal says Derrick Henry and the Baltimore Ravens have reached an agreement today on a 2-year, $30 million extension that includes $25 million fully guaranteed. Not half guaranteed, not guaranteed for inch. $25 million fully guaranteed over the next 2 seasons per Todd France of Athletes First. It is the largest deal in NFL history for a running back that's over 30 years old. That boy Derrick Henry, he's making money and making history all at the same time. And he also is making Lamar Jackson's job a lot easier. And that's all we just wanted for years. We just wanted phenomenal players because we know Lamar Jackson's the best player in the league. But when we always would talk about the offense and the offensive weapons and whatnot, we just wanted other guys to make Lamar Jackson's job that much easier. And Derrick Henry, oh boy, he was exactly that. And it helped everybody else. You saw how Lamar Jackson, obviously somebody that elevates the entire team. But Derrick Henry, he helped elevate Lamar even more. And Lamar helped elevate Derrick Henry even more, too. It goes hand in hand. And then on top of that, you see what Rashad Bateman did. You see what Zay Flowers continued to do. You saw Mark Andrews. You saw Likely. You saw Justice Hill. You saw everybody, man. You saw this team, you saw this offense, and you saw how amazing it was. Now, Adam Schefter, he also brought out a really, really interesting stat, and I was like, oh, okay. It says, since 2020, this actually came from the 33rd team, said since 2020, the most games, who got the most games with 100-plus rushing yards since 2020? And I know you using that number, that year, it can sort of change. But anyway, we don't care because it's good about Derrick Henry. So, Josh Jacobs got 15 games with 100 rushing yards. Saquon Barkley got 17. Nick Chubb got 19. Jonathan Taylor got 24. So those are all pretty close to each other, right? They are, because 15 is only 2 from 17. 17 is only 2 from 19. 19 is only 5 from 24. But what's the next closest? Derrick Henry with 37. Derrick Henry has 13 more 100-yard rushing games than the next closest running back, Derrick Henry. Now, we know that Derrick Henry is a baller. We know that he's like that, but we are very, very grateful that Derrick Henry will continue to be like that. And get this, like last year, he went crazy. He went wild in Todd Monken's system. That was just his first year. My goodness, man. It's about to be real nasty, man. In a good way for us, bad way for NFL defenses, because now Derrick Henry will be another year in Todd Monken's system. He ain't going nowhere. Todd Monken's still here. Derrick Henry's still here. Lamar's still here. He gets another year, so he'll be that much more comfortable under this offense. Man, Eric DeCosta, perfect move. So we started off with some amazing news from the Baltimore Ravens. Now we got to switch gears to some terrible, devastating news that came yesterday, courtesy of Ian Rappaport. He said, sources, Ravens safety Ardarius Washington, who is expected to play a key role in Baltimore's defense next season, has torn his Achilles, the MRI has confirmed. The injury, which occurred during conditioning, will cause him to miss most or all of the 2025 season. And that sucks, man. That sucks. As y'all know we love Ardarius Washington over here. Ardarius Washington, straight up baller, man. And when he got his most significant opportunity, he literally took it and ran with it. He made his mark. Ardarius Washington, he 5'10", but he played like he 7'11". Because Ardarius Washington is like that. I've been seeing multiple people online try to downplay Ardarius Washington and what he did for this Baltimore Ravens team, specifically last year, and how good he was for this Baltimore Ravens team last year. I can't get with that, man. Ardarius Washington was nice. Y'all saw our defense them first 10 weeks. We all saw it. It was all kinds of ugly. But then you saw with Ardarius Washington when he was out there, when Kyle Hamilton, he changed up his role, and you saw they benched Trenton Simpson, they cut Eddie Jackson, they benched Marcus Williams. They made some tough, difficult decisions, but you saw how it literally altered the defense in a major way. And Ardarius Washington was a huge part of that, and he was looking to be a huge part of what the Baltimore Ravens did this year moving forward. So many of our conversations that we had surrounding the safety position this year, Ardarius Washington was a part of all of them. Why? Because of what he would allow Kyle Hamilton to do, what he would allow Malachi Starks to do, and vice versa, what they would allow Ardarius Washington to do. With us having three safeties like that, oh man, it made the defense that much more flexible. It made the defense that much more just versatile. And then what we talked about with Malachi Starks, amazing draft pick. And now in hindsight, it looks even better considering this situation. But with that being said, with Malachi Starks, we talked about how Ardarius Washington, he was going to put Malachi Starks in a different position than Kyle Hamilton was when he got drafted in the first round as a safety for the Baltimore Ravens. Because Kyle Hamilton, he had immediate pressure like, hey, you got to start right away. You got to get it right away. And first couple of weeks, it was shaky. But then once Kyle Hamilton got rolling, he got rolling. So it worked out, obviously. But Malachi Starks was going to be in such a better position than a Kyle Hamilton because the pressure was alleviated. Yeah, he was going to be a starter or whatnot. He's going to be out there a lot, and you're going to have him in multiple roles and whatnot. But at the same time, having a Kyle Hamilton, having Ardarius Washington be our main safeties, Malachi Starks, it would make it a lot easier for him. The transition from collegiate to professional, it would be a whole lot easier. Well, I guess we can call collegiate professional now too because they getting paid some big money over there. But anyway, now with Ardarius Washington being out for most likely this entire year, because say for instance, even if he got surgery and whatnot, and then he came back later on in the year, he may not be fully right. You know, it take a little bit. So Ardarius Washington most likely going to be out for the entire season, but it sucks. This sucks for him on a personal level because this is his job. This is his career. And this is why they want contracts, long-term contracts, guaranteed money, because stuff like this can happen. And even if stuff like this doesn't happen, they still want the guaranteed money, but still it's for reasons like this, because now this sets up Ardarius Washington in a negative way moving forward, because after this year, he's going to be a free agent. Now, with him being hurt, I'm not sure how the restricted free agent tender would work if it wouldn't count as a year if it wouldn't count as a year credited toward his career or not. I'm not sure. But say, for instance, now he hits free agency next year. He's going to be coming off of a torn Achilles, and teams could look at that and be like, no thanks. They could sign him, but he would have been in such a better position had he been able to play this season, ball out, show what he can continue to do, and then get signed to a big-time deal in the offseason. But now he'll be heading into free agency next year coming off of an injury. So most likely the type of deal that he would get wouldn't be a long-term deal, probably be something short, maybe a 1 or 2 year deal with not many guarantees in it. So this really sucks for Darius Washington. I feel for him, man. I feel for him because, again, we know everything that he not only was capable of, but everything that he actually did for the Baltimore Ravens. Now, Darius Washington, he did take to Instagram to express his thoughts on this. And he said the following. He said, words can't describe how I feel right now. Up thinking all night, why me? Why now? All I want to do is prove I'm one of the best in the business year after year. But God said not right now. So until then, we wait. Micah 7-7. I appreciate everybody who reached out. Major love. It won't be long until I'm back standing on business. Know that. He said it gets greater later. So shout out to that boy Darius Washington. I'm hurt for him, man. I really, really am. I hate seeing stuff like that. Obviously, we fans of the Baltimore Ravens, so anything bad that happens to them, it sucks. But, I mean, you just hate seeing this stuff happen around the league. I always say, the worst part about the game, worst part about the NFL, the refs, they a close second, but injuries are the worst. So now it's on Kyle Hamilton that much more, Malachi Starks that much more, Brade, Sanusi, Kane, it's on those guys that much more. And then there's also free agency, which I do expect the Ravens to probably dip into free agency. Or could they roll with their young guys? Anything possible right now. Earlier this week, we talked about how we hadn't been seeing no schedule leaks for the Ravens like whatsoever. We saw plenty of them for the Eagles. We seen them for the Chiefs, even the Bills, Bengals, all these other teams, but we hadn't seen nothing on the Ravens. Then one schedule leak came out that said, the Ravens are going to be playing the Packers week 1 Monday Night Football. And guess who didn't get excited about it? Me. I didn't, because I had a couple of people send it to me. I seen it on Twitter a couple of times, but I was like, I say, you know what? I done got before by some schedule leaks that didn't end up being real. So I said, I'm not getting hyped over that one because I done seen this game be played before. And that exactly what ended up happening. It was a fake. It was an okie doke. But we did get our first official Ravens leak for week 1. And it's Sunday Night Football against the Bills in Buffalo at Orchard Park. So with that, the team that ended our season last year, we start with them week 1. And I have seen some people say, oh, man, I wish Bills and Ravens, it could have been for later on down the road. You got to build up to this game. You got to have some momentum heading into this game. But I'm like, hey, Bills, Ravens, both teams starting off fresh week 1. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. What better way? And now the Baltimore Ravens cannot avenge themselves from last year because last year is done. Last year is a wrap. There's nothing that they can do about last year. And I'm so glad that the way that it ended for the Bills after they beat us. Because, oh, boy, I was seriously hate watching when they played the Chiefs. Oh, boy, I love seeing them lose. But anyway, that is powerful because, it says Ravens week 1, prime time. The world will be watching. NFL already knows what time it is. They know that the Ravens, they draw in the big numbers because we just simply a team that's like that. So I'm excited for this game. I know a lot of y'all have already said as soon as that schedule came out for week 1, a bunch of y'all already said that y'all are going. I said, whoa, okay, y'all slow down. The tickets ain't even come out yet. That'll be tonight. But again, with the schedule, we'll get everything, the whole entire reveal tonight at 8 p.m. That's what I'm waiting for before I get crazy excited over anything else that's happening. So we'll talk about that then. So we just talked about how we got Bills in week 1. How about another AFC East opponent for our Baltimore Ravens that we got official schedule leak on literally just now too. This is for the Miami Dolphins. Now, I will say, even though you cannot avenge a game from the previous year, especially when it's a playoff game because it's done, it's over with, it happened, that's it. And now, I will say, with the Ravens and the Dolphins, they got each other week 9, but it's on Thursday night football, and I know, especially those of us that were there in attendance for the last time the Ravens played the Dolphins on Thursday night football. Oh, it got ugly. It got really ugly. It was downright nasty. And it was an embarrassing game. It was, oh, man, one of the worst Ravens games that I've attended because it was just like, what is going on? What is happening? But Todd Monken, him and those Baltimore Ravens, they can right all the wrongs from that game. And I mean, we already done beat up on the Dolphins even after then, but still, having it done in Miami, oh, that'll be a lot different. And you know we're going to be in the building for that one because that's a special, special game for us. So, yeah, the Ravens and the Dolphins, Thursday Night Football, Week 9, it's official. Crazy. I thought we were going to be able to get to my favorite part of the videos, but not yet because more and more about the Ravens keeps coming out literally like right now. So this came from Albert Breer. He said, good deal for Ravens running back Derrick Henry, the cash flow. So we got a little bit of the details on the deal. It says in 2025, so this year, he gets $14 million fully guaranteed. Ravens say, hey, there you go, Derrick Henry. Hey, you did your thing. We can't deny it. Here, there you go, $14 million fully guaranteed. So in 2026, he gets $11 million fully guaranteed. So, again, they said, hey, Derrick Henry, we know how you are. We know how you take care of yourself. We know how you take care of your body. We know how you execute on the field. You got it. So, there you go, $11 million fully guaranteed. So, that's the $25 million fully guaranteed. Boom, right there. But then in 2027, gets $12 million. But oh, man, what's going on with that? So, it says Henry had 1 year and $7 million left. So, he gets $18 million for the extra year, with the team getting an option in year 2027. So, that's when they'll have the option to either move on from Derrick Henry or continue to keep Derrick Henry, and we'll see from there. I'm sure, I wonder if there's some void years on the back of this deal. There probably are, because Ravens, they've been messing with them void years heavy. But, again, it's a great deal to keep Derrick Henry in Baltimore because it only made sense. So now we reach my favorite part of the videos where we get to feature your questions. If you would like to take part in it, send an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com. Over to patrons, you can send a DM directly on Patreon. We can't waste no time. Let's get straight to it. First question came from a patron, my guy Sebastian. He said, the Cayman Rucker video you made when you put the highlights in the background while you were talking was really cool. You should keep doing that. Just a comment, all love. Hey, I appreciate that. On here, we've been trying to improve stuff little by little here and there, just try some different stuff out and whatnot. And that was an opportunity that presented itself to be able to do that. So thank you. I appreciate you noticing that. I appreciate you acknowledging that. So thank you very, very much. Now with that, I got to be extra careful because I ain't trying to get no copyright and stuff like that. Oh boy. When we went through that thing with YouTube, what was that, last year, the year before last year, it was not pretty. So yeah, we got to be careful with it, but I do appreciate it. So we will try to continue to do stuff like that a little bit more often here and there. Next question came from another Teamkeepitclean patron, my guy Gemar. He said, with the season-ending injury to Darius Washington, do you feel confident in both Brade and or Kane, or do you think we will definitely add a veteran free agent? That's such a great question. And I'm sure that's what everybody is thinking and wondering about right now. With Darius Washington, you think about the position that he was in. He was an undrafted rookie free agent, just like Brade. Kane was a late-round draft pick. So they could end up just being like, you know what? We're going to roll with the young guys. We're going to get them a bit more opportunity and whatnot. They know our system. They could be another year more comfortable in our system. Let's see what we got in these young guys. Or they could be like, hey, you know what? Let's not take the risks. Let's get a veteran, bring a veteran in here to pair with Malachi Starks. So we don't want to put everything on him. And we don't want to put everything on somebody who's super, super young and lacks NFL experience like a Brade and Kane. They just going into year 2, and they didn't really play too much last year. So I could see the Baltimore Ravens adding a veteran just to really play it safe, even though they did get a little burn from Marcus Williams. They did get a lot burn from Eddie Jackson. So that might put a bad taste in their mouth, but still, I think they'll take another swing on a veteran.